From Cardinal Television Studios, I am James Deasy, and here is your Fisher News Brief. Some kids in Wisconsin are learning how to respond to dangerous situations. Sarah Thammer has more on why one organization is hosting an anti-abduction seminar.
The scenario playing out is showing kids how to respond if a stranger approaches and gets too close. Stop! It's part of an Ironworks training seminar hosted for one main reason.
There was a child in Holman that was nearly abducted.
On March 6th, a man attempted to abduct an 11-year-old girl near Western Avenue and Mallard Drive in Holman. It was a rare situation for the community, which inspired this seminar.
I thought about it and I realized that we had perfect curriculum that we could have and teach the kids in the community how to feel comfortable in their space.
The seminar taught the kids about awareness and how to manage personal space. It also gave them a lesson on what to do if someone grabs them.
Some grip breaking strategies so they can wrestle free and run away and scream for help.
Parents say this opportunity gives them more confidence knowing their kids are learning the proper strategies to escape when in danger.
You know, at home we try to tell them the right thing, try to tell them what to do. But this just strengthens our position, strengthens the things that we're trying to teach our kids, giving them the skills to respond to situations that they may be put into.
It's not about being paranoid or afraid, it's just being aware and knowing that what you have these tools that'll help you be safe.
The U.S. military is now investigating whether Iraqi civilians were among those killed in a coalition airstrike. A senior Iraqi health official says at least 112 bodies have been pulled from the rubble at a site in Mosul in the last 3 days. The U.S.-led coalition has acknowledged hitting an ISIS truck carrying explosives in that area earlier this month. But U.S. officials stopped short of confirming an Iraqi military officer's account that civilians were among the dead. The coalition strikes are part of a months-long campaign to retake Mosul. Iraqi security forces now control much of the former ISIS stronghold. CNN's Arwa Damon reports from near Mosul.
There are helicopters buzzing overhead, and there's been the regular sound of explosions coming as the battle for western Mosul continues, just as intense, it would seem, as it has always been. You can see the minaret for the Al-Nouri Mosque, where the ISIS leader al-Baghdadi declared his so-called caliphate. That, of course, is one of the main objectives for the Iraqi security forces. And then the smoke that is rising and has been nonstop throughout the course of the entire day. There are still hundreds of thousands of civilians trapped inside this battle zone. And of course, the U.S. and the Iraqi governments are both investigating various different incidents where there have been allegations of significant civilian casualties. At one of these sites, a health ministry official tells CNN that at least 112 bodies have been recovered. We have also spoken to the head of the Civil Defense Forces tasked with trying to pull bodies out from underneath the rubble, who is saying that it is a very difficult and slow task. In one of these sites in particular, according to the local counterterrorism forces commander, he said that on March 17th they called in an airstrike against an ISIS suicide truck bomber. The force of that blast caused several homes in the area to collapse. An eyewitness told CNN that as he and his family were fleeing, they could hear people screaming from underneath the rubble, "Please save me, I am alive." This is a battle that has already devastated the population of the city that have been through so much, not just in terms of trying to survive living under ISIS, but now trying to fight and trying to survive during the battle that is meant to be their liberation. Arwa Damon, CNN, Mosul, Iraq.
Pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong are furious. An election committee has selected Carrie Lam as Hong Kong's new leader. She is seen as Beijing's choice, and she defeated a candidate who had more popular support. CNN's Christy Liu Stout has this report from Hong Kong.
Hong Kong has a new leader. As widely expected, it is Carrie Lam, the territory's first female leader in the history of Hong Kong. When the announcement was made here at election headquarters, it was met by cheers in the public gallery. But according to the public opinion polls, Carrie Lam was not the people's choice. She was voted in by a near 1,200-member election committee, an election committee comprising of mainly pro-Beijing, pro-business interests. Changing the way elections are done here in Hong Kong was a key demand of the 2014 pro-democracy umbrella movement protests. That demand was not granted. And the protests, that returned again today before the election. And as the ballots are being casted, hundreds of protesters showed up, including key pro-democracy activists like Nathan Law, Joshua Wong, asking for universal suffrage, one person, one vote. So a number of key challenges ahead for the new leader of Hong Kong. These demands are still out there for universal suffrage, a growing divide in the people of Hong Kong, and also Beijing's increasing influence here in the territory. That's what's ahead for Carrie Lam here in Hong Kong, a major global financial hub and home to 7 million people, by and large, who did not have the opportunity to vote for her. Christy Lu Stout, CNN, Hong Kong.
And that is your Fisher News Brief. I am James Deasy.